This video is an introduction to the Dropbox tool. If you are familiar with the My Assignments tool in Campus Cruiser, this is similar. I'm going to show you how to create a Dropbox assignment, how to put it into content, and also how to grade it. First, you select the course in which you are working. Go to Assessments and Dropbox. To create a new Dropbox folder, select New Folder and put in a title. You select Individual Submission Folder. If you have created groups or group categories within your course, for other purposes, you will have the option of selecting Group Submission Folder. Again, ignore category. Grade item. If you've already created your grade book, you should have a grade item. But if you don't, do not worry, you can create the grade item here. You will put the points, so out of 100. If you have a rubric, and I will show you how to create a rubric in another training video, but you would create the rubric here, or if you've already created one, you can add the rubric as well. You would then put the instructions for the activity. So Dropbox is where you want your students to submit to you their work. So just like a student would hand in a paper in class, if you want them to submit the work to you on D2L, to have everything all in one place, you can have them submit it here. So you would put the instructions for the student to complete their activity here. Again, you can always do a video note, YouTube video capture, insert a picture, embed a code, insert a link. And so if you wanted the students to watch a YouTube video and answer certain questions, that can be done here as well. If you have an assignment already created that you've been using for many semesters and it's all typed up nice and neat in a Word document, you can add a file and the student would just read the attached file for work. What they'll do is they'll open up the document, put in their answers, save it to their desktop, and then upload it to Dropbox. Or, if you prefer, you can copy and paste the instructions from the Word document and put it straight into this window here. You would hit Show Submission Options, and you have two things that you need to decide. How many files are allowed per submission? Let's say the student has a paper and they want to submit their paper and also their thought process, their timelines and outlines. And so they would have multiple files that they would need to submit. So you would want to select Unlimited. If you only are allowing one file, then you would select one file. How many times can a student submit? Anytime they submit something, it can be they submit the paper and they realize they made a mistake, they need to resubmit it with the correction. So that would be 2 submissions, but 1 file apiece. So all submissions are kept, only the most recent submission is kept, or only 1 submission allowed. So you can make those decisions. Then you would want to go on Restrictions. Does this assignment have a start and end date? When it has a start date, that's when the student sees the assignment, can access it. Due date is when the grade is due, or when they can no longer submit any files. End date is where they no longer can access the assignment. So usually I set the due date and the end date is the same. And again, you can add special access for special users who need more time. Maybe they have a disability. Maybe they were in the hospital when the files were due, and so you would want to give them special access. For more information on how to create special access, you can take a look at the assessments video. So now you have your Dropbox assignment that students can begin to submit information to. Once you've created your Dropbox assignment, I always recommend that you put them in content within the module that it relates to. So for instance, I have several modules here, breaking down by chapter. That's my personal way of doing it. You can do it any way that works for your course. So for instance, I created homework assignment number 1 in my Dropbox. Well, after my students review the PowerPoint slides for chapter 1, I want them to be able to do the activity without them going anywhere else, being lost, or searching for anything. So please, I strongly recommend that anytime you create an assignment in D2L, put it into content where it belongs. It makes the whole process much more easy for the student. So what you would do is you would add existing activities since you've already created it. So you would add existing activity, select Dropbox, select the one that you created. You can make adjustments to the due date from here as well in case you change your mind. You can update the instructions from here as well. And the student will be able to access it from content. Make sure it is published. And you will see that it is published here. If you are in content and you are working on building your modules and you remember that you need to add a Dropbox assignment, you can do it straight from content. You don't have to go to assessments and go to Dropbox. Some people prefer it that way. But you can say new Dropbox. And do the same thing. So once you put your instructions, you can add attachments, you can add date and restrictions, you can add a grade item, you can set the options of it being unlimited files and submissions are kept here. So you can do the exact same thing that you did under the Dropbox tool. And now you have it in content. This is an example of an actual course that is up and running. As you can see, I have my instructions, any kind of Word documents, quizzes, icebreakers, discussion messages, and Dropbox assignments located within each module. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from the student perspective on how to submit something to Dropbox. So they would select the item in content, and it gives them the instructions, and it says they've not submitted anything yet, and they can drag and drop to upload their assignment or do it the old-fashioned way by clicking upload and browsing their desktop. They can record if they have the equipment. So drag and drop is the easiest thing. They would just go to their desktop, drag the assignment, and drop it over. They can add comments. To let you know if there's anything that you need to be aware of. And then they would need to submit to Dropbox. And it says the confirmation email was sent successfully. So anytime they submit something successfully to Dropbox, they will get a confirmation email. So there should no longer be any question of, did you get my assignment? Did it submit appropriately, like we did with Campus Cruiser? When you are ready to grade a Dropbox assignment, you would go to Assessments, Dropbox. You would select the item that you want to grade, click the drop-down arrow, select View Submissions. If you have a lot of students, say you have close to 100 students in one course, and you've already started grading most of them, what you can do is you can filter out the students, only show users with unread submissions, only show the students that you have not graded their assignments, only show users who have submitted something after a certain date, or only show users who are late. Once you've found the correct students, you can select them. We're going to do a test student here. Select the document. You grade it by reading whatever they've submitted. Then you evaluate it here on the right. This shows the folder information when it's due in the prompt. You can preview what it looks like from the student's perspective. You can edit. It shows the due date, availability end dates. You can edit special access here as well. Evaluation. I have a rubric associated with this assignment. So once you learn how to do rubrics, you can associate rubrics with these assignments. And this is what it looks like. You can just grade based on what the student meets, hit save and record, and then it will automatically populate it to the score. Or you just put the score in. This is what the student will see. You can provide feedback. Again, video feedback, picture feedback, written feedback. Whatever suits you. You would hit publish or save. If you make any changes, then you would hit update. You can retract a grade. Another way that you can view documentation is you can view as text or view as page. So if you view as text, this is what it looks like. If you view as page, this is what it looks like. So I always recommend that you view as page. That way if the student has pictures or diagrams, you will see them. Once you are done with this student, you would just select the next student. Once you are completed with all of the students who have submitted it, you can go back to folder submissions. So, hopefully this answers any questions about Dropbox, and good luck.